Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hayes Contractor Hacks. Hayes is one of the largest companies in the world when it comes to recruitment, and technology is a huge focus of ours. At Hayes, we partner with a range of contractors that do skills from all different sectors and industries, and we help place people with some of the world's most exciting companies. In this series, we're going to be spending some time meeting some of our contractors to discuss their career and the different things they've learned along the way. So my name is Travis O'Rourke. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of Hayes here in the Americas. And today I'm joined by Noreen Jamal. So she's going to share her story today, and I'm really looking forward to having the conversation. So Noreen, welcome.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Tell us about your career. Maybe start by telling us where you've worked.
Yes, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, I am a contractor. I've been a contractor for about 12 years, and I've had the opportunity to kind of work in vast variety of industries, doing lots of different types of projects. So, most recently, I am with TD Bank in Canada. And then previous to that, I've done some work in not-for-profit organizations such as World Vision Canada. And I've done a lot of work in the banks. So I've pretty much hit up all the banks across Canada and some in the US as well. So very fortunate in those different experiences there. And SimCorp, which is, if most of you know, is a lot in the item and check processing, the support for insurance statements, all that
That's
good.
right.
I've done some work in utilities, so out in Regina, Saskatchewan, and in BC. I did some work with Sask Power and Sask Energy, and then some government work with the Provincial Health Authority in BC. So pretty much been around the block for a bit now, and different projects varying from like implementing just like cuts right off the shelf kind of thing to more customized products, on-prem service, you name it kind of thing. Some cybersecurity in order for us to kind of really get a handle on our security posture, digital modernization. So I've had the opportunity in the last 12 years to do a lot of good stuff, a lot of good projects.
Wow. Wow. It's quite the list of companies that you've worked for.
Yes.
And then to go from, industry or sector to sector is impressive. So from banking to nonprofit, there's some government in there. Obviously, SimCorp, I kind of ID identification. Like I always look at contracting as the biggest benefit is the different environments that you get to. It's like a portfolio of a career that you're building. But what do you see as the biggest benefit of contracting over a permanent job?
So definitely the variety. I think that as a contractor, I'm allowed to kind of look at the different projects and look at what am I bringing to the table and what am I taking away as well. And so with that with contracting, I'm able to pick and choose, right, some of the projects that I want to work on. So allowing my strengths to come through in those opportunities, as well as making sure that I am leaving behind my brand, my reputation, something that I can be proud of, so that if there is an opportunity for me to come back, or, other, like, it's such a small world. It's 6 degrees of separation, especially in banking. From when you work in one bank, you pretty much know everybody that works at the other bank. So
That's right.
this benefit is networking, meeting a lot of different people, getting a lot of different experiences in the different projects that you work on.
Yeah. How do you decide which projects you're actually going to take on? With a resume like you have, I imagine you can probably pick and choose at this point.
So what I like to do is I like to make sure that I'm not doing something that I don't have some type of expertise in already. So you can't be a master of everything. Obviously, there's so many different applications and products and things out there. But the areas where I feel most confident in, I like to look at opportunities for jobs in those kinds of projects, as well as opportunities for growth. So I don't want to just be stagnant or just come in and only do my job and be out. I want to be able to, like I said, learn from that experience and, have a challenge. So I don't want to just be mundane and go in and just do it because I know how to do it, but, have that experience of learning something new and taking that away. So I get to choose the projects by looking at, am I a good fit for that project? Am I bringing something to the table? Did I learn something from a previous opportunity that I can apply best practices for? And so I feel like it's just, and opportunities to kind of work in new emerging technologies, new industries. That's what really gets me going.
Nice, nice. I suppose it's the balance, right? Like you say, you need to have expertise because your reputation, will follow you, but then you also want to learn something. So finding, I guess, that sweet spot must be fun. One thing I've always thought about contracting that must be great is the amount of time you can decide what you take off in between assignments. Like, do you typically try and line them up back to back, or do you give yourself some breathing room?
I do, and then you'll often hear contractors saying no work, no pay. So I try to make sure that I have the continuity. But I do kind of like to take some time off as well. So I don't have my own children, but I do have a niece and nephew. So I like to take a couple of weeks off before and after, get them settled in with school. It's in and around this time. So last week we were away, so I got that week off. So, but
That's right.
usually contract to contract, I like the continuity. So
That's right. Good, nice. And then when you start, I mean, what did you say? No work, no pay. No work, no pay. But I think the customer is probably thinking, as soon as Noreen starts or any contractor starts, I expect some impact quickly. So how do you handle that kind of like first day, first week expectation as you're still trying to get to know the environment?
Yeah, so I think it's important to really understand organizational assets that can be available to you, right? So in that first week, I like to understand everything that's out there. So, go through their SharePoint, go through their Confluence, read up on their documentation, do your own investigation, your own analysis kind of thing. You don't want to become a burden on that team. And as a contractor, you kind of come in as an expert. So you kind of have to hit the ground running as well. Most importantly is communication. I think communication is so key to everything we do, especially when it comes to soft skills, because your communication is going to help you in your negotiation. You, as a project manager, which is what I am, I'm always negotiating, whether it be, project scope or timelines, dollars and cents kind of thing, right? So I need to have effective communication in order to be a strong, to be able to, negotiate as well as conflict resolution. It's so important to be able to have that ability to communicate calmly and resolve conflicts, right? Because you're building a positive working environment and relationships. And then, of course, with collaboration, right? You need to be able to work with diverse teams. And so in many contracts that I've been with, I'm working either East Coast, West Coast, Canada, US, Australia, India, right across globally. And so everybody communicates differently. And you need to have effective communication, clear communication to ensure that we're all on the same page and to foster that relationship and collaboration. So soft skill, key communication. I think I mentioned this earlier, but Noreen Jamal, my name is my brand. So I think it's extremely important as a contractor to be reliable, right? And be authentic, be your authentic self. Being reliable brings high quality work and consistency, okay? Authenticity is genuine, like have good intentions in the practices that you have. Stay up to date, right? As a contractor, you have to stay abreast of all the new emerging technologies. It changes on the daily.
Right.
Keep your skill sets, whether they're soft skills or hard skills, up to date. Participate in blogs and, seminars and personal training on like LinkedIn learnings and stuff like that. Like stay abreast of what's out there. You don't want to just talk the talk. You don't want to just come into a job or an interview and just say the buzzwords. You want to be confident, right? And as a contractor, building your brand is confidence, reliability, and being your authentic self. I think it's also really important to look at, as you mentioned, what kinds of projects and stuff like that do I like to, or do I pick and choose and stuff like that. There's another aspect of all of this. Yes, the dollars are great. Yes, the flexibility is great. Yes, the learnings are great. But I think it's also important to look at the projects and the social impact that it has. We are in a world where we forget about a lot of that stuff. Sustainability, social impacts to, what is that end human kind of element to it, right? How are we positively contributing to our society? And I look at working at World Vision and, in a not-for-profit organization, my end customer, who was that, and how am I making like these projects that I'm working on, they may not impact the field directly, but I'm doing something to give back to my community, and I'm giving back to help those that are less fortunate. So it's a circle, and if you think about it outside of the box a little bit, like I think we've lost that element of it. And I always say, all my contractors, your name is your brand, be your authentic self, look at how you're giving back to the community, and enjoy it. Enjoy all the different opportunities that you get. Build your networks. You make so many different friends right across the world, and different in different organizations. And do not burn any bridges. I'm telling you, 6 degrees is a lot smaller. You would be surprised at how far your brand will go, and people will be like, "Oh, I remember working with her," or "Oh, I remember working with her." So,
That's right.
which one do you want?
Well, listen, thank you very, very much, Noreen. I think you should be proud of your brand for sure.
Thank you.
And I'm certainly proud of the brand that you've associated with Canada here. This is a global series, and your commitment to wanting to do better for the world, to be kind, to meet new friends, I think you've stuck to the traditional Canadian stereotype quite nicely. So thank you very much for your time today, and hopefully Hayes can help you in your next assignment.
I love it. Well, thank you. It was a pleasure. And I look forward to my next contract.